let's start with a story that's been bubbling around over the weekend, which is the BBC accused of using university students at the LSE on a trip to North Korea as a form of human shield, putting their lives in jeopardy to film an undercover programme. A three-strong BBC team, led by reporter John Sweeney, who's no stranger to reporting from difficult places, posed as student members of the LSE's Grimshaw Club, one of the societies. They travelled with real students last month to make a documentary for Panorama about North Korea. This is a little of what Mr. Sweeney's been saying over the course of the weekend to justify his actions.
All of the students on the trip are grown-ups. They're big people, and I know them. They're brave and good. All of them were told twice that a journalist was coming. I was that journalist. I used my own name. I am also, as it happens, an LSE graduate. I told a lie. I said that I was an LSE PhD. If Saif Gaddafi can do it, perhaps so can I. Nevertheless, I told a lie. It's difficult. North Korea is not Torremolinos. So all of them were aware of where they were going, that a journalist was coming.
He told a lie, but then again, undercover, good investigative journalism. Sometimes journalists do have to tell a lie, but has this one gone too far? Were lives put at risk? Martin Campbell is chairman of the Broadcast Journalism Training Council. He's former chief advisor for Ofcom, which is an organisation with fairly powerful teeth. Joins me now. Have the BBC transgressed, in your view, Martin?
Difficult to know, isn't it? It looks on the surface as if their behaviour is something that would probably finish up being looked at by the Trust, but we're getting so many conflicting tales about who told what, aren't we?
Yes, unfortunately, it's very difficult to nail it down. Looking at Kerry Thomas's words, the head of news programmes, this is an important piece of public interest journalism. It's important that the BBC does programmes, such as these.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's hope it is. I mean, it had better be a good programme after this. I mean, the publicity, I think, has already caused the problem. I don't think showing the programme now will probably make any difference.
How far can a journalist go if you're exposing something that is in the public interest? Can you be deceitful?
Yeah, I mean, there are guidelines written down for the BBC and for commercial operators, and you've got two things here. One is the hidden camera and the deception of the North Korean government, and I think, assuming that the content of the programme is worthwhile, that there would be a public interest justification in using that. Whether there's a public interest justification in putting lives at risk, if indeed they were at risk, I would very much doubt. But, I mean, it does appear that the consent, if you like, was given for a journalist to join them, but not consent for an undercover film crew to join them before they all left. And that is a big difference.
And just lastly, Martin, it's all right for that journalist to misrepresent himself. That is to give a false address.
Well, no, it isn't. The thing is...
Really?
That,
how would you have investigative journalism, then, if he had to say, I'm John Sweeney of whatever it might be, and I'm a BBC Panorama reporter, or whatever he is? It's not going to get very far.
You justify it by editorial justification and public interest justification. So, yes, there is a defence for doing it, which is why I say this programme had better be good, having gone through the rule book like this. It needs to justify itself very well tonight.
Martin, thank you. Martin Campbell is chairman of the Broadcast Journalism Training Council, former Ofcom chief advisor. 13 minutes after 7. Let's speak with a journalist who might be able to tell us what, of course, they've seen inside North Korea. Mark Seddon is a former UN correspondent for Al Jazeera. He's reported from North Korea. What are they likely to have found in the country, Mr. Seddon?
Well, I mean, the understanding is that John Sweeney accompanied a student tour. I mean, this would have been very strictly marshalled visit to North Korea. They would only have been shown really what the government would want them to show, but of course what they have had is a secret camera, and what we will probably see are lots of rather disturbing scenes of just how tough life is for the North Koreans. But I have to say, I've reported from inside North Korea on 7 occasions. I've done it openly with a camera. I've gone in on the back of European parliamentary delegations. That's how I've managed to get in. But at no stage have I ever sought to pretend that I wasn't a journalist, and nor would I ever use people as cover, as has happened here. And I think that the BBC and John Sweeney have acted incredibly irresponsibly. And the idea, I mean, John Sweeney was saying yesterday that the students afforded him some protection is an absurd notion, because he could have afforded them absolutely no protection.